This newborn baby has been hailed a miracle after surviving being abandoned naked 6 feet underground in a freezing stormwater drain in the midst of a colony of stinging red ants. Charmaine Keevy, 63, was out for an early morning walk with her sausage dog Georgie in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, when it suddenly started barking loudly at a drain duct in the gutter. The catering company boss said she heard a noise and thought it was a cat mewing, but when she got on her hands and knees realized she could hear a baby crying from deep inside the drain. Charmaine began frantically waving down passing cars for help until motorist Corny Vioon, 60, pulled over. And after listening for himself, they both agreed they could definitely hear a baby sobbing. He grabbed a steel bar from the boot of his car and with Charmaine's help the pair of them managed to lever the heavy concrete slab covering the stormwater drain free so they could look inside. Rescuer Corny had to drop 6 feet down into the drain and almost immediately began being stung on both his legs and realized he was standing in a colony of red ants as he tried to grab the baby. He said yesterday, "When I got into the hole it was higher than my head and it was so narrow that I had to go down on my knees and I couldn't bend over, so had to feel down for the baby below. The red ants were stinging my legs, but then I felt this baby's leg and then saw the baby and I realized that this was a crime scene, so I took a flash picture and handed my phone up to Charmaine. I didn't know if the baby was injured, so I tried to pick her up very carefully and very slowly, and she was so small. I just wanted to hold her for a while, but I knew that she needed urgent medical help. The baby was lucky the red ants were higher up in the drain and not down at the bottom where she was. I just do not know why anyone could do this to a newborn baby, but I was just so glad that we were able to help her and save her life." I told Charmaine to call the emergency services right away, he said. The police and an ambulance arrived quickly and paramedics treated the baby at the scene for hypothermia and she was rushed to the Doran Ginza Hospital for emergency treatment. Provincial Health spokeswoman Sizwe Kupilo said the newly born tot was found naked with the umbilical cord still attached and that she was suffering from hypothermia and respiratory problems. Police spokeswoman Colonel Priscilla Naidu said the only way the baby could have been got into the drain was by someone removing the cement cover and climbing down inside and placing her there. She said, "There is a possibility that the person who did this may have come from outside the area and placed the child there. We are appealing for witnesses and the mother of this baby to come forward. A case of concealment of birth and child abandonment is under investigation." Charmaine, who found the baby on her morning walk, said, "I honestly believe I was meant to find that baby by God, as I usually take a different route on my dog walk but for some reason went another way. I cannot help but feel that there is some sort of a plan and a purpose for that little girl's life. It is a miracle without a doubt." When Georgie first started barking at the noises I thought it was a cat, but then I realized it was a baby and people must have thought I was mad because I was trying to stop all these passing cars. I don't know what would have happened if this guy had not stopped to help me. He got a steel bar from the boot of his car and we lifted the cover off the drain and then he dropped down inside. When he handed me this tiny crying baby, I immediately wrapped it in my jersey and kept her warm. The ambulance came and assisted me and then they took it off to the hospital for treatment. We can't just assume the mother didn't want the baby and it must have been hard for her to leave the baby there, but I am very happy to have found her and I'm delighted she is alive and improving. There is no way that a mother who had just given birth could have lifted that heavy concrete cover on her own, as it took me and a very strong man with a big steel bar to get the lintel off the drain. There are clearly people out there who know who the mother and baby are and I hope they come forward, she said. Electric fence installer Corny, a married father of 3, said, "The baby is okay at the moment but picked up a bit of a viral infection because of exposure to the cold, but she's a fighter and getting stronger. She is not out of the woods yet, but she is breathing on her own now. And the nurses say she will make it," he said. The baby weighed in at 3.09 kilograms and the family violence Child Protection and Sexual Crimes Unit of the South African Police Service have been called in to try and trace the mother. Hospital staff have called her Grace April and she has become a celebrity on the baby ward. Social worker Pamela Rubush, who is caring for the baby and will find her a place of safety, estimated she had been lying abandoned for a couple of hours and was near to hypothermia and was found just in time. Charmaine said, "I hope if the mother does not come forward that Grace April finds a loving family and makes her mark on this world."